everybody, and welcome into Perspectives, the home edition. We have something a little different for you today. We have a guest that you're not going to believe who's joining us for a conversation. Before I get to that, let me just say a couple of things. I'm 77 years old. I know I don't look it. I look 20 years younger. I know how that works. But I've been in this business over 50 years. I've interviewed a lot of folks in those 50 some odd years. I've interviewed two presidents, had a chance and took it to interview the King of Sweden. Let's see, I interviewed Rosa Parks once, sat with her for a half hour, no camera, no microphone. A friend surprised me with that, introduced the two of us and left us alone for about half an hour. I've interviewed everybody from the folks at the very top to a guy who lived in a dumpster here in Tulsa. The difference was his dumpster was air conditioned and heated because he prevented a company from burning down. And since the dumpster was on their property, they took care of him. And I've also featured a dog once who liked to sit on fire plugs. So I've kind of done all kinds of things with television and had a thoroughly good time all the way. Today, I add a star to my crown, and I'm going to be very pleased for you to see her in just a couple of moments. Let me tell you a little bit about her first. She was born in Cleveland, Ohio. She would make her mark in this world, and it would be not just a mark, it would be a benchmark. And along the way, she was one of those that was comfortable in her own skin. She has a heart of gold. She's a lady of warmth. And she just, when you meet her, you feel like you've known her all your life and you're just so bloody comfortable. You'll wonder how it all happened. I call her the 3M lady. Won't you say hello, my friends, to Madeline Manning-Mims. May I call you Madeline? May I call you Madeline?
Please, if you don't mind me calling you Sam.
I wish you would.
Okay.
Now we're getting down to brass tacks. You were born, like I was trying to say, you were born in 1948 in Cleveland, and we have some photos we're going to show of your family, including your mother and father, and some pictures of your siblings. You have three brothers and one sister. That's correct?
That's correct.
Now, let me set the stage for the folks who are watching who might not know what you did, because this just blows my hair back when I think of it. In 1968, you won the gold medal in Mexico at the International Olympics. And you were a distance runner then. You were the fastest woman in the world, in fact, for a brief moment, but officially the fastest woman in the world in middle distance running. Am I correct on that?
That's correct. That's correct.
You went on to win the silver in 1972 in the Munich Olympics. Then you lived a life that a lot of folks are going, how in the world did she have time for it? So let's talk a little bit about that. Afterward, you went on to get your doctor's degree at Oral Roberts University, did you not?
Correct.
I want to tie in what happened before we talk about that with when you used to work out at ORU and what Oral had to say about you, Dr. Roberts.
It's interesting because every morning that I would go up to the AC Aerobics Center to do my distance running inside, he would be up there walking, and he would see me coming around warming up, and he would holler at me and say hello, good morning. And then he had this thing that he would do is like, there she goes. There's my running for Jesus girl. And he would just pray over me while I was warming up running. And I never forgot that. I was like, wow, he's the only one that's ever done that to me.
Well, I have to tell you, I am in awe of all that you've accomplished in your life. Uh, some of it has been very hard. I know that. A lot of training involved, physical training for the running itself. But I'd like to go back in time, if we could, for a bit. When did you discover, or when was it discovered, and who did it, that you had a special talent for running?
Actually, I don't know if you remember this, that President John Kennedy had the physical fitness. It was comparing
I,
the American children to other
I do.
children in the world. Yeah, we had to do all those sit-ups and pull-ups and jump and run and that type of thing. And I scored very highly, excuse me, during that time in my gym class. And 2 weeks later, a girl came in and beat all my scores. And so I was, although I was shy and introverted, I didn't like what I saw. And I asked my gym teacher, Miss Marilyn West, um, if I could take the test over. And she said, yeah, you can take it many times you want. So I took it every day for 2 weeks straight until they came to me and said, it's over. You can't take it anymore. But by that time, when they compiled my scores, they found out that not only was I the top physically fit young woman in the school, but I also was setting national standards for girls. And that's when they came to me and said, you need to be in some type of sports. And I said, okay, what you got? And they said, well, we have basketball, volleyball, and track for girls. And I went out for all three. And within the next year, we were state champions. We were at the state championships, and we won the track state championship, and we were top in the basketball and volleyball. And I think I had something to do with that, because I found my niche, and I just loved being able to athletically be involved with something competitive.
Your mother encouraged you quite a bit, didn't she?
Oh yeah, yeah. When I was 3 years old, I had a disease known as spinal meningitis, and during that time, the doctors didn't know really what to do. After they diagnosed me, they came to her and said, we're sorry to tell you this, but your little girl is not going to live. And we've done everything we know to do. And so my mother, being a strong woman of faith, began to pray for me. And she told me later on that she actually gave me back to the Lord and said, if you give me my little girl back, I'll raise her in the ways of the Lord the best way I know how. And the next day when they came in to re-diagnose me, they didn't know what was happening. And they said, she's at least 50% better. We don't know what's happened, but if she survives, she may never be normal. She may never be able to play like the kids around. And she definitely will mentally not be able to handle stuff. But my mother just kind of took it this way. She figured, well, if the Lord saved my life, it was saved for something special. And when I was coming up, that's how she talked to me, that I was special in God's sight, I was special in her sight, and that he saved my life for a purpose that he would one day reveal. And so that really empowered me, because we lived in the inner city of Cleveland, and the whole attitude was, you ain't nothing, you ain't gonna never be nothing, so don't even try. And so to have a mom that believes something different than living less than you are valued was very, very empowering to me.
I'm going to jump around with the interview just a little bit. When you very graciously allowed us into your home, one of the things I noticed right off the top is it's not a home filled with all kinds of mementos. You have a separate building for that, don't you?
Well, actually, I'm sitting in my office right now, And one of the things that I did was put some of our accolades and memorabilia and awards in here. And then I have a few out in my china cabinet. But other than that, I figured, I don't have a gym or a museum that I can put this in. So I gave a lot of stuff away. I really did, especially young children who show potential in athletics. I always try to encourage them that by giving them something of mine. And so I've given a lot away. And then when I got my new home, I decided I'm not going to carry this stuff into and put it into a storage again to just sit there and do nothing. So I took some with me, and then some of it I threw away.
Oh, that breaks my heart every time you say it. And I, remember when you first said that, I said, "Show me the dump site. I'm going." And when we finished the interview, bless your heart, you gave me this, which
Yeah.
has your name on it. It says Olympic Golden Moments, a salute dinner. The honoree is Madeline Manning-Mims, and that's 2004 in Sacramento, California. I will treasure this for the rest of my life. Thank you.
You're
Uh,
welcome. See, that's what I mean. I love sharing things that I have acquired because I get the chance to see other people's life just be encouraged and fulfilled and see happiness in their eyes. And that's what happens with me when I look at my run, even because a lot of people have never seen me run before and they want to see, well, what did she do in the Olympics? So when they show the picture of me running, I'm watching them get excited and holler like they're there. And I mean, even though they know the end result, it's like they're reliving it for themselves. So it's always great to be able to share.
well, what happens, Madeline, is when you cross a finish line, the way you run, you may not realize it, but you're carrying a lot of people with you.
Yeah.
That's what's
Wow.
happening. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about your mom, and we're going to talk about the 1968 Olympics and you crossing the finish line because you told a beautiful story about that. And we'll hear from her right after this.